Hello everyone and welcome back to our series on the Siddur and Tefillah. In this video we will discuss the concept of Smichas Geula L'Tefillah. What does that mean? What is that concept? The Gemara says that a person is obligated to connect Geula to Tefillah, which means on the most basic level that the last of the brachos of the Birchos Kriyas Shema, the bracha that we say after we recite Shema, for example in Shacharis in the morning, that bracha focuses on the redemption from Mitzrayim. We say, for example, Mi Mitzrayim ga'altanu Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem saved us from Mitzrayim, and Mi beis avadim pidisanu, He redeemed us from a house of bondage. And that bracha concludes, Baruch atah Hashem ga'al Yisrael, blessed is Hashem, the Redeemer of Israel. And we are obligated to immediately, after we conclude that bracha of Geula, to begin the Shmoneh Esrei, to begin our Tefillah. So on the most basic level, that means that a person is required not to pause between the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael and the beginning of Shmoneh Esrei, or a person should not speak or make any other interruption. In terms of the halachic aspect of this idea, the one point of controversy is whether or not a person is permitted to say Amen to the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael before they begin Shmoneh Esrei, and there are different customs until today regarding that point. Now it's clear from the Gemara that this idea of Smichas Geula L'Tefillah is a very important one. The Gemara, for example, one passage says that someone who properly fulfills this idea is guaranteed to be a Ben Olam Haba, to have a portion in the world to come. Another passage in the Talmud says that someone who properly fulfills this idea, this halacha, that if they do it in the morning, so they will have an extra special divine providence, Hashem will watch over them the rest of that day. The Gemara tells a story that one of the rabbis felt that one morning he had fulfilled this idea particularly well, and he had a smile on his face, and he was even happier than it normally was for the rest of that day. The question is, though, what is the idea behind this? Why is it so important? Obviously, it's more than just an idea of beginning tefillah immediately after the previous one and not pause. It's not just about saying words in a certain order. So one explanation is found in the writings of the Maharal. One work of the Maharal is entitled Nesivos Olam, which is a collection of essays. And in that work, he has an essay on tefillah in general, entitled Nesiv HaAvoda, the pathway of worship. And in that essay, he explains many basic concepts of tefillah, and he explains this one as well. And he explains the following. He says that tefillah is meant to be the few minutes when we stand before Hashem, when there is no intermediary, we're speaking directly to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we are completely focused, there's nothing else exists, nothing else is on our mind, it's just us and Hashem. The question is, though, how does a person accomplish that? How does a person put himself in that state? How can a person truly step before Hashem, forget everything else in the world, and just be focused on Hashem? So one answer is, the Maharal writes, is that the Chachamim instituted the bracha of Geula, and the bracha that discusses the Geula from Mitzrayim right before Shmoneh Esrei. Why? Because in that bracha, we focus on the basic ideas. We reaffirm that Hashem redeemed us from Mitzrayim, and that means Hashem is the ultimate authority. There is no other power in this world that could get between us and Hashem. If there's any problem that we're dealing with, if there's Rahman al-Islam, an enemy towards us or towards the Jewish people, we know that Hashem can take care of that enemy. We know that just nothing else in the world is as important, is as powerful as Hashem. And nothing can get between us and Hashem if Hashem wants to. And so after we recite the bracha of Geula, of Ga'al Yisrael, and we think about that, so we use that as the opportunity to immediately step into Shmoneh Esrei. That hopefully, with the bracha of Geula on our mind, we'll be able to stand before Hashem and recognize that He is the absolute authority, He is the absolute power. No one else, nothing else can get between us. And hopefully with those ideas on our mind, everything else, all of our worries will melt away, and we'll be able to focus just on Hashem and properly stand before Hashem and properly perform the mitzvah of tefillah.